Bagaki.
I'm an idiot.
I'm stupid.
Moron.
With an ugly face and a big butt, and my butt
Smells. And I like to kiss my own.
butt.
I'm an idiot.
Bagaki.
Hello, everybody out there. Is this thing on?
We're living on a disk, floating through space, with a tiny sun.
Hey, I'm FTFE, and welcome back to the channel that does to stupidity what Putin maybe, possibly, I mean, most definitely, what Putin did to the leader of the Wagner Group. Can anyone say World War III? Hello guys, welcome back to another show, and what's probably going to be the last show, because basically tonight there's going to be flat earth evidence that's going to get my channel shut down. It's obviously the lizard people overlords that run the fake bird drones to keep an eye on everyone are going to hear this evidence and immediately shut down my channel and then murder me and my family. And wipe all of your memories, so this never happened. But you know, I'm not scared. I'm not scared at all. I'm not scared in the slightest. Bert Rickles says, "I predict your channel is perfectly safe." Me too, buddy. Me too. Flat Earth evidence. It's like fairies, isn't it? Yeah. Get Shrek. It's been a good run, guys. Not like this. Nurko has been a member for 6 months, says, "You have this, Craig, for science." I'd just like to take a minute for everyone to, you know, put your hands together and have a silent moment to pray to the almighty science. Praise science, our savior and guide in these trying times of flat earth truth. Science is the way. All hail science. I hope you all prayed with me there, because, you know, if we don't pray, then science doesn't work. That's how it works, right?
Shut the fuck up, you cunt!
Alright, calm down. Well, let's do it then. We're going to go over to the asylum, where the hammer is waiting to destroy my channel. Let's do it. Oh, let's get the Discord up there so everyone can see what is going on. What number is that? 151, 151, 1 second. I should probably prepare these things in advance, eh? It's not like I do this for a living or anything. There we go. Here we go. End of the channel.
Measure of owning properties to be profitable. So let's say you bought a house 20 years ago and that house has gone up to, I don't know, 500K in the 20 years. I don't think you should pay capital gains on that. But if you bought a house for 300K and then a year later you sell it for 500K, which is exactly what happened in my country, you goddamn right, I think you should pay taxes on that.
It's always interesting, the conversations that I come into.
And here he is. All right.
Yeah, sorry. We were talking about stuff that won't get you banned, Craig.
Yeah, house prices definitely won't get me banned, but apparently I'm here to hear some flat Earth evidence that is going to get my channel banned, and frankly, I'm terrified. I've got a glass of Dave's Special Brew just in case to keep me calm. Hammer, how are we doing?
Hey, what's going on, brother? How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Apologies for not coming yesterday. Family, life in general gets in the way sometimes. So yeah, I'm very, very excited because when I said to you about bringing your best flat Earth evidence, you said that if you gave me your best flat Earth evidence, my channel would get shut down.
The entire thing, yeah. You don't want me to do that, I don't think. For your audience's sake, you know what I mean?
Is there going to be people come and like arrest my family and stuff? Am I going to be like, hidden away, and is this going to be really bad for me?
That sounds a little extreme.
Hey, FTFE, I just have a quick question for you.
Yes, Earth.
Hey, so how do you feel about the current state? Well, the flat Earth infighting right now. Basically like the flat Earth civil war that's going on.
Oh, I love it. I thrive on it. It's beautiful. I very much enjoy it.
Hey, Craig, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
So, how do you feel about these Flerf Einsteins, or I call them Dumbsteins, thinking that a dark matter somehow debunks gravity?
I think it's hilarious that they think that it debunks gravity when they've no idea what they're talking about. it totally holds up the idea of gravity. Oh look, there's an observation which matches what would happen if gravity is real. We just can't see really what's causing it. It's like, oh, well, therefore gravity's not real. Well, then what's fucking going on, you morons?
I got a question for you, too. Did you catch Flatzoid versus some guy he was talking to today?
No,
not yet. I've got a list of Flatzoid things to go through because, oh, right, here's the thing, right?
He said he could prove scientifically, using the scientific method, that the Earth was flat.
Well, the scientific method doesn't prove anything, so I know. But that's hilarious.
Yeah, those are exact words.
But do you guys want to know a little secret? Flatzoid kind of streaming every day is my fault. I told him to do that. Do you want to know why I told him to do that? I told him to do that just to piss off Nathan Oakley.
Yeah. It provides me with entertainment, when I choose to tune in.
Right, anyway.
How about the notion that Wixit thinks that dark matter and dark energy debunk the heliocentric model, and somehow there's a connection between the existence of dark matter and the actual measurements, the shape of the Earth?
I mean, I'm frankly surprised that Wixit can cross the road without getting run over every time.
Yeah.
I don't know how he goes outside without some kind of head protection. I imagine that when he eats his breakfast in the morning, he has to have someone to help him, otherwise he would dig his eye out with his spoon.
It's pretty low to actually make insults against someone that's not even here to defend themselves.
Oh, it's not an insult. I've said this to his face several times. I am just describing the general, mental ability that Wixit most factually has.
I failed to add that his Flatzoid's debate today was against another flat Earth person, and so that's why it's always the FE versus FE is always awesome, and it's what the other guy was talking about, the two camps. It's accelerating Earth versus stationary Earth.
It's hilarious.
We've got Gary in here. Maybe
with Jaron, right?
I was going to say, we got Gary in here. Maybe he wants to try his luck with Craig here, see if he can take down FTFE.
Well, first I've got the hammer, because the hammer has this evidence that is going to shut down my channel, and I definitely would like to get into that.
Well, you don't want to say that for
scared.
you don't want to make sure that we hold that off till the end.
If it's going to get his channel shut down, I can guarantee it has nothing to do with Flat Earth and has more to do with other conspiracy theories that might get his channel shut down.
I mean, no. I think he is assuming that it's such a banger of proof that if it gets out, we're in trouble.
Oh, you'll just shut it down.
Yeah. Yeah.
That makes sense.
I've got this kill switch button right here. I just press it and it goes off.
I'm not prepared for that.
Oh shit!
Oh, you got your mute button prepared, is what you're saying, huh?
Hold on.
And I just want to say, Hammer, you did a great job doing that debate today, moderating it.
That.
Yeah, you did a great job.
Stupid.
Right. So, is there anyone else that wants to discuss anything before Hammer brings forth his destructive evidence? Or, I mean, I would quite like to just get into that.
Yeah, please. If anybody would like to speak with FTFE before I take down his channel, I mean, be my guest.
I've just told my kids that we're gonna have to be living in a tent from now on.
See, I don't want to do that to you, man. Why are you putting that on?
What happens, man. I've put. I'm the one that's brought this upon myself. I'm just selling my car. We're organizing. To go to food banks and stuff over the next few days, obviously, because my channel's going to be gone. So I might as well just get it over with,
All right, so going once, going twice. This is your last chance to ever take on the great FTFE before his entire channel gets shut down, because they are going to, after tonight, really be upset with him for allowing this content to get out here. In fact, he's not.
The group was just deleted a few minutes ago.
All right, Nathan, calm down. That's old news now.
What was deleted? Something was deleted. We got some news from the front. What happened?
No, it's just me mocking Nathan Thompson.
Hey guys, you want to hear a funny story while we're all chatting, dude? I'm dating a first grader.
Nathan, no. Sorry, guys.
That was.
Spider-Man is still better than Batman.
Get out.
Oh.
Make me.
Well, I'm Batman. Do as you're told.
I'm Spider-Man.
All right, then. Come on, Hammer. Let's do this.
I'm looking forward to this groundbreaking evidence we're supposed to hear about.
All right, boys. Sit back. Relax. Enjoy the ride. You ready for it? Here we go.
Do this.
Ready.
So, I won't lie. The first gentleman that spoke, he was, my first intentions or my first instinct, would be to kind of show supporting examples outside of what you guys would traditionally call actual supporting evidence for the subject, right? But I do feel it's supporting, but I'm not going to do that to you quite here tonight, sir. I'm not going to do that. But what I am going to ask you, right, is that I've heard this claim about spherical excess that you guys claim, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one of your cohorts was in here, actually, explaining it. I've never actually seen somebody explain it in depth. And so when he did it, there was some interesting techniques that were used that I think I may have found. I have a little bit of a hunch here. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't got the time to investigate it quite. But I think with your help, we could unwrap how the claim of spherical excess is absolutely incorrect as far as what you guys claim.
Okay.
Where's the soundboard at? No, go ahead. I'm a dumb and I don't.
Spherical access isn't a thing. Is that what you said?
No, he's
absolutely.
Shots fired.
There it is.
Yeah.
Right.
So, can you tell me what you think spherical excess is? Just in a basic as possible explanation.
Well, see, that's where these conversations get very distracted, right? It's not really about what I think spherical excess is. It's about what spherical excess is as far as the globe claims it.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I know what it is, right? I'm just, to make sure we're kind of on board talking about the same thing, I would just like to hear you explain it.
So do you have some kind of reference or citations that we could go over that would explain it in depth for us? Because like I said, it's a new argument relatively for me as far as investigation wise. I have heard it quite a bit, but never in-depth investigated it. But like I said, I had one gentleman demonstrate it. He didn't have a lot of time. Like I said, I had some questions, but I will tell you this. I also have my suspicions. It seemed like a magic trick to me. So
it seems
we
like
could get a little in-depth explanation on the spherical excess. I think it'd be beneficial.
Well, okay, yeah. So, like, before I go on in a explanation, I would just like to hear you.
You want to hear what I think it is. So, as far as what the globe claims, claims here, you guys claim that you measure interior angles of triangles, and that on a flat surface they can only add up to 180 degrees. However, on a spherical surface, you can get an excess of 180 degrees. Am I correct on that?
Yes. A maximum
so what
of
I'd like to do
40 degrees, technically.
So what I'd like to do, if we can, is show some examples of this, right? Like I said, a little bit in depth, kind of walk through it a little bit, how we're doing this, how we're getting these measurements, how we're adding up these angles, because we are indeed adding up azimuthal angles. Is that correct?
Yeah, when you get the angles, you reference it to your local azimuth, yes, but then you reference it to all the other points as well that your stations are at. So it's a lot more in depth than just
from the observer's reference point, right?
So
between
to
the 2 points, correct?
So to explain this in detail, you go to a particular point and you get and you're measuring your angle toward. You construct an imaginary line, an azimuth that goes directly up from where you are, and you do the same at the other point. Now what you want is the angle from your point at 90 degrees to your azimuth that intersects the line above that other point. So you're taking the angle from your azimuthal ray to the other azimuthal ray, right? And it has to be at 90 degrees to the azimuth. That's critical.
Yeah,
Thank you,
so
Tony. That's a lot more
I
succinct than
apologize.
I could have put it.
This can be done on a small scale too. You can take any ball, right? Draw a triangle on it with 3 straight lines, and if you measure the angles, those angles will add up to more than 180 degrees.
I don't think that he's disputing the mathematical principles of spherical geometry. I think he's arguing with the methodology here.
Yeah,
is that correct?
That's very astute there, Mr. PhD Tony, and I appreciate you forming it in such a articulate way. Yes, that's correct. I am indeed questioning the methodology in which it is.
Okay, so let's assume that the Earth is flat. Then the methodology that I have just described, where you take the orthogonal to the azimuth at each of these 3 points, will.
So I'm a little lost there, Tony, and I do apologize. I'm a very visual person, right? So is there something that I can bring up for myself and the audience to kind of see what you're talking about, or maybe can we go over that slowly, in depth, so I can get like an actual visual of what's going on there?
Sure. A useful diagram might be something to do with reciprocal zenith angles. I don't have it immediately to hand. Craig, do you have?
Oh, it'd be something to look up. Let me look that up.
Yeah. So if you look at reciprocal zenith angles, you'll.
So I'm just gonna look that up real quick, see if I can bring something up. Reciprocal zenith.
Oh, where's the diagram? Sorry, I'm just trying to get that.
Sorry, yeah, I'm being lambasted. It's still early in the morning for me, but I think I got zenith and azimuth mixed up. So you take a zenith line, and your azimuth should be measured perpendicular to your zenith line. Your zenith line goes straight up. Oh, your zenith. I'm also being mocked for my pronunciation.
That's the vertical, essentially, for like layman's terms. Yep. That's the vertical that you're rotating around. Yeah. Is that correct?
So you extend a notional vertical line straight up, okay? And you do it at 2 points. So you've got these two lines. Well, let's do a triangle. So you've got these three vertical lines, and what you want to do is, from one of those points, look at the angle between those other two vertical lines. Now that angle is going to change as your line of sight varies. So if you look up, that angle is going to be small because, well, that angle is going to be different. It's going to be smaller than it actually is. It's going to be its maximum at the point where you're 90 degrees to your local zenith. So that's the one where it's actually meaningful. It's that local zenith angle that is meaningful.
I posted a basic diagram in the chat.
Okay, so there you've got your local zeniths, right? And in this case, in reciprocal zenith angles, what they're trying to do is they're trying to point. Each observer is trying to get an angle to the other observer from their zenith. Okay, but it's those 90-degree angles. If I'm looking to measure the angle between if I'm looking out, I see a line over there and a line over there, and I want to know the angle between them, I should measure it at 90 degrees to my local zenith. Right, at 90 degrees to my local vertical. Like I say, if I tilt down or if I tilt up, I'm going to get different angles.
So, quick question for you. Are you stating then that the elevation of the object does matter?
No, the elevation of the object does not matter.
Okay, that's what I thought.
So that's the whole point of basing it on a local a perpendicular to the local plumb line, or the local.
Right. So what they're asserting is they're getting a 90 degree.
Well, yes, that's quite, yeah. That is how that is the basic technique for how that's done. Yes.
So. Just to clarify here, Hammer, your evidence is going to get my channel shut down. Is you having questions about spherical excess?
They're already scrambling. I apologize for interrupting. Yes. Oh, yes.
You know,
because
this isn't a new thing. This is a conversation that's probably been had 100 times plus on my channel.
Oh, but this is the first time the Hammer has come in and talked about it. Also, this is going to form, as I can already see in my head, like just this landslide of people continuing to investigate all these claims to find all the little tricks and missteps in the techniques that are being used here.
Yeah,
that's what I hope to attain.
Witsit has been poking at this particular thing for close to a year and failing constantly.
Yeah, don't tell me that.
Can I point out something in the history here? So, if you bring back up your diagram and you look at the plumb lines, it was noted almost 300 years ago that there are deviations between the plumb lines and the correct zenith. So the zenith is deviated. In surveying, this phenomenon is called deflection of the vertical, and we've been aware of this for over 300 years. So the precision with which we've been doing this. This is not a new argument. This is not a new, and deflection of the vertical turns out to be due to gravitational deviations. For instance, in the survey of the Mason-Dixon line, there were systematic errors in that survey because of the gravitational attraction of the Allegheny Mountains. This was hypothesized, and then it was demonstrated by the Schehelian experiment. That's the context in which the Schehelian experiment was formulated. So we've been looking at these carefully and analyzing them with the best minds in surveying and geodesy for over 300 years. And the assertion that somebody is going to instantly overturn this with a couple of well-directed questions from ignorance isn't entirely plausible.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll find out. I mean, it may not be plausible, but I think crazier things have happened. PhD Tony. To be honest with you.
This is surveying methods like this are they're done constantly, and they always come up with the same result, that the Earth is curved, and we know that plumb lines diverge. The phenomenon of plumb lines diverging, it can be shown in multiple bridges around the world. Probably the most famous example being and I apologize again to New Yorkers for ruining the pronunciation, the Verrazano Narrows Bridge, where as a suspension type bridge, you have to have perfectly vertical plumb support towers to support the structure, to support the strain, the strain on the support structure, and the perfectly plumb support structures they're so far apart that the tops are 1 5/8 inches further apart than the bottoms, even though they are perfectly straight and plumb to their local area. So the knowledge that plumb lines diverge isn't just something that's been known for centuries. It's something that's used in engineering industry to accomplish things that wouldn't be able to be done otherwise.
So I know you guys claim that, but here's again where I think there's a little bit of conflation in this argument, in that, number one, even though the claim of spherical excess, may result, right, according to you guys, in diverging plumb line. We first have to remember our point that we're going to say. Sorry, it took a little too long there.
What?
It'll come back though. Remind me again. Rewind back just a couple minutes.
I was talking about the Verrazano Narrows.
Yeah, what's that point?
Oh, the bridge and what else?
Well, just the fact that we know that plumb lines diverge. It's a known phenomenon. Like Tony said,
even though
we discovered
in
in
the
surveying
result
300 years ago.
I appreciate you re-jogging my memory there. Even though the result of the spherical excess, again, in your claim, may be that the diverging plumb lines, right? In what I observed, right, with the gentleman that I was explaining, the first explanation that I've seen of spherical excess, here's where I'm getting confused. I don't understand how if we go through the process of doing the measurements for spherical excess, we should not be first assuming diverging plumb lines, right? Because they really don't have anything to do with the measurement other than for you guys concluding that they are diverging. Measurement other than for you guys concluding that they are diverging.
Why is that coming back?
Nice.
Yeah. Okay, so it's not an assumption that plumb lines diverge. It's something that has been measured, and it's just a consequence of the spherical nature of the Earth. And if plumb lines diverge, then you're going to have spherical excess when you measure angles between two stations. If you're measuring your local zenith and you're taking it off that 90 degrees, if the Earth is curved and plumb lines diverge, then you're always going to end up with more than the angles that would suggest the Earth is flat.
Yeah, but I would suggest that that explanation is based on a misapprehension.
Okay.
There's nothing in the calculation of these angles that assumes the plumb lines diverge.
Yeah.
If the Earth were indeed planar, then taking the observations at 90 degrees to the local zenith between the 2 points would still be the correct way for doing the angle, but you would end up with a planar triangle. You would end up with 3 angles that added up to 180 degrees. There's nothing in the method itself that assumes that plumb lines diverge.
No.
It's just that when you do the observations, you can tell that the plumb lines diverge because the 3 angles you get add up to more than 180 degrees.
Yeah,
So if
that's
I can
exactly
just
what I was trying to
get
say.
you
Tony
right
said it
there,
way
if I could
better
just-
than I could have.
If
This
I
is why
could
he's
just
got a
question
PhD.
you right there, and that's from the observer's point. He's taking these horizontal angle measurements between 2 points, right? And then we're actually between 3 points, right? And then we're adding all those up, correct?
Basically, yeah.
You ready to have your channel shut down?
I've got my finger over the end stream button.
So the question then being, when you put it on a flat plane, it's kind of weird too. That's why I want to go over it first before I just hammer the nail in the coffin right here, man. Like I can't believe nobody has seen this. Nobody has caught it yet?
Okay,
Can
come
I
on,
ask?
let's
Do
do
we
it.
want to pull the audience?
Do it. Just do it. Rip the band-aid off, man.
Don't keep me in suspense, dude.
Wow.
Why are you adding the interior angles on the triangle in the planar if it's between the 2 points? From
Why?
the viewpoint of the observer in the middle of that triangle.
Okay,
You're
so
adding the wrong
I think
angles
there's
at
a
that
verbal
point, are you not?
miscommunication.
And also, when you're taking a horizontal azimuthal angle, even though you're making a triangle, you're taking it from a 360 degree circle, right? So you can definitely create a 360 degree circle over a flat plane, no problem, right?
So
there's no
there-
issue with adding up over 180 degrees on a flat plane. Spherical
Yeah.
excess debunked. Thank you, boys. Yeah.
Okay. So, well, for starters, there were a number of miscommunications here, and Craig didn't really correct you on a So, a person at a point takes a reading to the other azimuthal line. The zenith line. Then they take a reading to the other zenith line, and they look at the angle between them. In order to calculate that angle, they are obviously using the first line and then an angle to the second line. They do this 3 times, 1 for each vertex, and then they add the resulting angles together. All right. So you made it sound like there's one person doing all 3 observations at one point. That's not how it works. You go to the different points and you take the 2 headings and you look at the angle between those 2 headings. So the in essence, yes, it's sort of a subtraction. It's a calculation of the angle between those 2 headings, but that gives you 3 angles that you can then add up. The stuff that you said about the circle has no bearing on whether or not the internal angles of a planar triangle add up to 180 degrees. If the Earth were planar and these were planar triangles, their angles should add up to 180 degrees, and they don't.
Yeah, that's where I think it's a conflation. It's a false premise in the argument, right? Like I said, so now, just to clarify, so now they go to all the different points, right? Is what you're saying. They go to all the different 3 points and they take the measurements from the point. They don't take it from like this. They don't take it from like a 4th point in the center.
No, there'd be right. You have stations that are set up at certain points, and then you have you take the measurements from each of the stations to each of the other stations, and you get the angles between each of them.
But this is in isolation, okay?
Yeah.
So you can do this for one triangle, but normally as part of a survey, what you would have are other points outside and inside that triangle that will confirm your results, because there could be errors associated with your observations for any one of a number of reasons, not least of which is gravitational influence on the plumb line. This was how... It's not just the fact that they do the one triangle and they go, okay, we got a number greater than 180, let's bugger off. No. They do systematic checks, and this was how they were able to work out that there was a problem with their plumb lines in the Mason-Dixon survey, because there was a bias in the they were able to work out that surveying point over there should have these coordinates. Then when they went there and they set up a zenith telescope to look at stars going overhead, they worked out, well, actually, we're getting different answers. We're getting different answers from the celestial observations than from the survey observations. So they said, okay, well, one of these is wrong. Which is it? So they went and they tested the survey. For instance, in the Great Survey of India, the Great Trigonometrical Survey of India, in the 19th century, they took a baseline 7 miles long, and they propagated it using surveying techniques more than 500 miles down to, and the error after they had propagated it was less than 6 inches, using 19th century techniques in a propagation of over, and so they came to the conclusion, well, the surveying techniques aren't the problem. It's this zenith thing that's the problem. So yeah, this entire discussion that they only use these 3 points. They actually verify the locations of each of the stations. They do vastly more sophisticated analysis than we have covered here.
Yeah. I just
that's why I wanted to get in depth with it. You know what I mean?
This being your evidence that it is going to shut down my channel, to blatantly steal a quote from another internet meme. My disappointment is immeasurable and my day is ruined.
I apologize, buddy. What? You're not happy you still have a channel, though?
I was excited for some brand new groundbreaking evidence. I mean, I never thought my channel would get shut down because NASA have got a backdoor into YouTube and they'd never let that happen. But, you were so confident that this was a killer blow. And, all we have to do is the continental triangulation of the American arc of the parallel to know that it's really not, a killer blow in any way, shape, or form.
Well, to be brutally honest,
I'm still not sold FTFE because, like I said, taking azimuthal angles, just so happen to be how runways are laid out on the ground from 0 to 360 degrees, essentially. I don't think there's a problem with it. Like I said, I think there's some kind of there's some kind of incorrectness in the premise of the logic there.
Or do you need there to be some kind of incorrectness in the premise to feed your inherent bias towards the flat Earth?
Seems like that's it.
No, that's not it. No, I can just.
No, are you sure?
I have like a sixth sense about these things. You know what I mean?
Well,
I have a very good instinct.
Can I say
trust my senses. What's that?
Okay, but that's all great, but the key thing here is the physical evidence, right? And the carefully compiling and assessing and analyzing the physical evidence. It's not just a matter of gut feelings. It's not just a matter of looking out your window and that's good enough for me.
That's why I said if you don't mind, Tony, because I don't mean to be rude. But that's why I wanted to go into it in depth. You know what I mean? I wanted to kind of go through the procedure. You know what I mean? What kind of tools are they using to make these measurements? You know what I mean? I definitely have to do. I admitted from the beginning, I definitely need to do a little more research into it. But
yeah, well,
I get excited about these things.
So I have a PhD. My PhD supervisor, actually, his PhD was in surveying. And my current boss, his PhD is in surveying, and actually one of the other senior guys in the group, his PhD is in surveying. So it's hard for me to get away from
PhD in surveying. Is that what I said? Is that what I heard?
Yes.
I don't mean to interrupt you again. I just want to clarify that. Wow. Okay.
Yes. So, for instance, my current boss and his colleague helped write GPS analysis software. They helped write MIT's GPS software program to obtain positions and to solve for the geometry of the entire network. So to solve for the positions of the satellites and the ground receivers all at the same time.
Does it work well, Tony?
It does work well, yes.
PhD.
You guys don't ever have issues with it?
GPS works pretty damn well. I mean, the specific
software he's talking about, because the job I was working at previously, they were having some issues with the engineering program that just dealt with trusses. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I was just curious because it sounds pretty fancy what he's talking about.
Sorry, go on, Tony.
Well, I just wanted to say, so we not my boss, the other guy, he did this analysis of Indonesia, and he said, well, this place isn't deforming a lot. There's not a lot of deformation going on. We can tell from the GPS results. These GPS results are kind of stationary. Everything else is moving. That means that stress is building up in this region, and there's a higher risk of an earthquake there. A mining company built a filthy great pipeline through that area because it was easier, because it wasn't moving that much. And then, 2 years later, there was a massive earthquake and it destroyed the pipeline. The code and the analysis are extremely effective, and we use them to produce real world advice. Unfortunately, in this case, my colleague's real world advice was just ignored by a mining company who ended up losing a lot of money on the deal. There are real world applications.
Why do you think he didn't heed the warning, Tony?
I don't know. It was actually a source of massive frustration to my colleague. He was extremely upset about it.
I can answer that question. It's because it seemed like the cheaper option at the time, and whatever happened in the future was future person's problem.
Yeah, it was probably the easiest way.
Yeah. Money is always the reason why these stupid things happen. They get a scientist to say, well, this is the best way to do it. And then the accountant will go, yeah, but this is the cheapest way.
Yep.
Right, Hammer. With all due respect, I'm going to give you an F- for that evidence that you'd said would destroy my channel. And how about we move to what you would consider your second best evidence that the Earth is not a globe?
We're probably gonna bore. You really want to bore them with the obvious stuff?
Well, can I just ask a question real quick, regarding that geometry?
Yeah.
Please.
And I think this should be the better stance that Flat Earth takes. It's kind of the whole with it argument, that it's been. Sorry, was that a visceral response that I just gave you? But
yeah,
it's the spherical geometry of our eyes. Is it possible? I think this is the stance Flat Earth should take. Is it possible that we're creating an error in the measurement, and it's gonna be more spherical than it would be concave if we're making that measurement just for it to line up? Is there not some possible that we're just not getting the measurement right? And my second kind of question to that, which I think would answer the first question, is what if we take those, what's his name, posted in here, Ruhif posted one of the measurements. Shouldn't we be able to just take those exact measurements and then calculate the exact circumference of the Earth with those? Shouldn't each triangle, every triangulation should show the exact curvature of the Earth, right? Or the exact...
I mean, from it...
No,
it's hard to do it with individual. Let me finish my point. It's hard to do it with
I was asking Craig, Tony, thanks. Nobody tunes into watch.
it's hard. You can't do it with like individual triangles. You can't take just like one triangle and go, I've got this spherical excess, and I can calculate what the radius of the Earth is, because you there's a lot more to take into account, the topography of the land and everything. When you've got the entire network, and you've added up all of the the stuff together, you could use that data of the your measurement across like the entire transcontinental triangulation American arc of the parallel. It goes across the entire continental USA. You can use that data from that entire survey, from all the triangles added up and all the data that you get, to then you could extrapolate the radius of the Earth from that. But you couldn't just do it from each individual triangle, because they're going to be different elevations, and there's a lot more.
Okay, but you have
that.
It's important to point out that the Earth is not a regular spheroid.
Yeah.
Okay, so it doesn't have a single precise radius. It has a mean radius, and the value for the mean radius can be obtained, but if you use local results from a particular region, you're going to get a regional approximation. A line, the length of a degree of latitude at the equator is different from the length of a degree of latitude at the North Pole. This again has been established for over 300 years. So the question, can we do this to precisely determine the shape of the Earth, is in fact ill-formed on a scientific level. And the first question, could it not be the sphericity of the eyes? No, it can't be the sphericity of the eyes. If it were the sphericity of the eyes, then GPS results would in no way reflect the same geometry, whereas GPS results do reflect the same geometry, so it's got nothing to do with the properties of the eye. Similarly,
lenses are made spherical too, though, right? Like,
I beg your pardon?
Like lenses, all lenses, if that's what you mean, like the information that
GPS don't use lenses. No, GPS don't use lenses.
Well, whatever it is that they're just, what do you? I don't know. I'm not sure what he's referring to with what GPS is reading.
GPS,
but it's a triangulation still, right? Is that what you're?
Yes, but there's no. They're using microwave transmissions via antennas to receivers. That's how GPS works. There's no sphericity to the microwave antennas. There's
I thought all waves got propagated like kind of rounded form, not spherical, but like curved in some way.
So your claim is that the straight line distance that a wave travels is influenced by the fact that wave fronts are spherical.
I guess, yeah. I don't know. I haven't put much
Okay.
thought to that.
Okay. Back that up.
Okay, I've backed it up. What?
Girl,
No, please show me an example of the distance that a wave travels.
I haven't done research. I'm just looking. I'm thinking about it.
Let me finish my question.
Well, you're kind of straw-manning my position when I'm just thinking about it intuitively. Don't the waves get kind of propagated in a curvature nature, thus almost spherical, which could vote well to my original argument?
I am not interested, sir, in garbled word salad. You have
like
made
dark
a claim.
energy, dark
I am
matter,
still speaking, sir.
Right, okay.
I am still speaking,
you guys
sir.
can theorize everything, but as soon as we theorize anything, it's just...
Is there a moderator in the room?
Shut up.
No, I don't think there is right now.
Okay, then you're coming up here and saying, well, maybe it's this or maybe it's that. I don't care what it may be. I care what you can prove. And what you can prove at the moment is that you get confused as soon as spheroidal wave fronts and straight lines are entered into the same sentence. No, GPS results are not going to be influenced by that. The time it takes for a GPS signal to travel from one point to another is a function of the distance between them and the speed of light. There are ionospheric effects as well, but those are
wave. Okay, good to see we're on the same page. So.
What?
I just said you're completely wrong. So if we're on the same page, I guess that's
the
great.
wave itself gets propagated in a curved nature, right? The wave itself, it doesn't shoot out
What
a fucking
does that mean?
square. Doesn't
What do
shoot
you
out
mean
a
in a
flat
curved
square.
nature?
It's how
What does it
the
mean?
wave itself curves. It's literally curved.
The wave front,
So it's
the wave.
spherical, like from a perspective. A sphere is ultimately 360, but if one side of it's curved, it can still bode well to the argument. Still adds up.
No, it
You're not
can't.
saying
You
that or
don't
not.
understand
You're
waves.
not disproving my original
saying it's
hypothesis that it
okay.
could be a spherical error through that.
Well, I'm not disproving it because you won't shut up long enough to let that happen. You don't know the distinction between a wave and a wave front. The wave front has curvature. The wave doesn't.
I'm not going to sit in this lobby with these fucking clowns. Just mute me, like, immediately.
Thank you.
Not a
Thank you. Go
debate.
ahead. Go on mute. Go on mute.
Hold on, what happened?
Who's mute? I haven't muted anybody. Just I'm just sitting here enjoying this right now.
So waves, you know, the distinction between a wave front.
I was
and
talking
a
about the
wave,
original measurement of the fucking lines, but not satellites. I'm not talking about any of that. You ran to
What
that like
lines?
it's some sort of evidence, but it's not. The measurements for fucking spherical excess. The original argument.
So if we used lasers to do the with tightly focused beams, would that be would that you know? And
there's still a
and
measurement
again,
that has to get taken place.
And again, all you're doing here is you're throwing out, well, human eyes are spheroidal, therefore everything we see has a spheroidal bias.
Yes.
Prove that.
Literally how
Prove it.
eyes are round. The eyeball is round. Look in the
Yeah,
mirror.
but
I
your
know it
eyeball
might
being
scare
round
you,
doesn't mean that you see light round. All it means is that it refracts light in a certain way. Right. For instance,
Round is-
wait, hold on. No,
flat
let me finish. Let me finish, Weisskopf. Right. What your eyes actually do is simply they flip the light that comes in upside down, and it goes to the back of your eyeballs
in a
your optic nerves.
rounded formation.
Right? No, it's
obviously.
not. It's not in a rounded formation. No.
Well, it would have to
That's
be
not
because
how
your
it
eyeballs
works.
are round.
No,
but okay.
That's not.
Well,
That's in a
no,
rounded
it's not
formation.
rounded.
It flips
This is
the
literally
image,
how
and then
the
your
math
brain
was
sorts it
hijacked.
out.
We've been trying to tell you that for years.
What
It's
math
how
was
the math
hijacked?
was hijacked.
Could you give us any evidence of that? Could you give us evidence
All
that your
you-
eyes
you
being
have
round make
round
the light
eyes,
look
you have
round? Because
round
that's not
eyes,
how
and yet we
refraction
have
works.
long-range observations that debunk that radius value.
No, they don't,
With
because they ignore refraction.
linear lenses.
None of the long-range observations debunk it because they ignore refraction.
Right.
So Weisskopf, you're saying eyes are round, therefore there is a spherical distortion to all images.
very well be,
And
yeah.
I'm
What if
still
someone is such a
speaking, mate.
minute-
I'm still
Weisskopf,
speaking.
please let PhD Tony
Right.
finish his point before you interrupt.
I'm agreeing with you.
Okay, and when asked for evidence that this occurs, your argument is the evidence is that eyeballs are spheroidal.
Yeah.
This is nothing short of magic. It is the magic of contamination. That has property A, that has property A, therefore if I bring them together it must fit. The sky is blue, therefore if I want my child to have blue, if I want my eyes to be blue, I should look up at the sky. It's literally
Brilliant.
that line of syllogism.
Makes sense.
Yep. So what happens if we use a square lens?
Yeah, like a rectilinear lens.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. Weisskopf, do you want to continue? Did you want to respond to that?
I'm not even paying attention. No, I've made my point clear, and like, there's nothing that you can't disprove it. What I've said,
Well,
there's no way to
you
prove
just did
it
with one
either. There's no
question.
way to prove it, but there's no way to disprove that either.
Oh,
And
there
that's
is.
the
By the way
refraction
refraction
works. As to how it's been hijacked.
We can disprove it by the way refraction works.
I don't see how you figure refraction.
You realize that
we use magical, but if anything that bodes well for flat Earth, you say it's refraction or it's gravity. It's a magical illusion.
Just because refraction is the answer. Right, hold on.
Once I'm making my
Yeah,
point,
gentlemen,
interrupt me.
gentlemen,
As soon as I make my
finish.
point, interrupt me.
You
As soon as
are
I
making
make
your
my
point, and I'm
point,
gonna
interrupt
respond.
me.
In science,
Tony,
we have a
Tony,
name for something that can't be proven
Tony, you got
and
it.
can't be disproven.
I know,
Tony.
This is
My-
why I
my
can't.
brother, Tony.
Because then I'll
You
just
gotta
get
let him finish.
I'll start screaming and talking shit to him. So I'm not going to even bother. There's no
We'll
point
try
in
to keep
engaging.
it fair.
There's
We'll
no
try to
point
keep
in
it fair.
engaging. As soon as I start making a point, he just they both and FTFE is the same. They get triggered. They start speaking over you. It's fucking childish.
Okay, well, I wouldn't do that so much if you hadn't done it to me. But B, do you know what in science we call something that can't be proven and can't be disproven? Worthless.
It just hasn't been done
unscientific.
yet.
Meaningless.
That's the theory.
Not
We're working on it.
even
We're working on
wrong.
it. We're
Your
working on it.
assertion is not
We're working
even
on it, big fella.
wrong.
Relax. We're working on it.
Right,
It's
can I,
coming.
Weisskopf, can I ask you a simple question? Sorry, I actually didn't mean to interrupt you. I thought you would finish your point, and I was trying to respond to it, okay? Your argument was that it's simply, whenever we say something, you just come up with this magic refraction. No, refraction isn't magic.
Which you can't reproduce.
Do you
Which
notice
you can't
how...
reproduce scientifically.
Do you notice how you just interrupted me there?
Yeah. Well, I want to make sure you were about to strawman me.
No, I'm not about to strawman you at all. I'm simply responding to your point. You said that, it's refraction. It's just magic. That's your answer to everything. The thing is, refraction is the answer, whether you guys like it or not. And we can show that it is refraction. We can replicate the effects of refraction. We understand how refraction works because it's been quantified for centuries. And our eyes being spherical doesn't change the nature of how refraction works. That is my response to your point. No straw man's made.
And yes, you said you think refraction is magic.
Brandon, your mic is really loud, dude.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's right.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. So that's my response to Weisskopf. Do you have anything to say to that?
No, dude, I just keep getting muted every time. But you don't have any reproducible refraction. It's different. It varies. It's guesswork at best, right from the very leading expert of it. But I digress. Enjoy the rest of your conversation. You have nothing. But it's magic.
Who's muting him, by the way?
Actually, Weisskopf,
Weisskopf,
we can reproduce the effects of refraction. It is reproducible, and no, it's
you
not.
Objectively can.
Well, we objectively can. We can vary a
Okay.
medium and see how refraction affects that. What happens when that goes through that medium that's been varied. We understand the effects. We understand the effects of refraction when it goes through different mediums. We understand what an index of refraction is. We understand how the change from one medium to another affects the path of the light. It is something that has been reproduced for centuries in science.
An index. No.
Sorry?
Science, there I go getting muted again. You objectively do not have it as a science. You've created an index. You've created a scale which can work. It'll eventually just curve around the ball. Your math works, but there's no experimental evidence that supports the math, just like dark matter, just like Einstein's work, just like the rest of it. It's all garbage. But every actual observation just shows flat and stationary.
Right, okay, so what you've done there is you went off on a tangent. Dark matter and dark energy is completely different. It's just something the flat earthers don't even understand the basic concept of. So, but no,
just like Witsit taught you fucking relativity. Okay.
No, I taught Witsit relativity. I taught Witsit relativity.
You objectively didn't. You
I
literally told him
objectively
you had
did. I objectively had to teach Witsit what relativity was. I had to study it myself and then teach him what it was because he had no fucking clue. He didn't even understand the equations. But no, Weisskopf, we do have experiments and everything around refraction. You know, the fact that I am wearing these glasses right now is thanks to our experiments around refraction. If refraction is something that is thoroughly understood in science. Just saying that it's not is frankly a lie that I don't know where you got it from. I'm guessing from your boyfriend Witsit. You gonna respond or? All right, okay. As he's run away, briefly, just to quickly go over the misconceptions about dark energy and dark matter, right? No, they're not magic. They're not just let's just use that as an explanation, right? we are at the start of the scientific method with these things. The names dark matter and dark energy are literally placeholders because we don't know what they are. We don't know how to see them. All we can see is the effect of these things that is clearly happening. There's clearly things happening, but that's it. We don't know what it is. It's non-baryonic in nature. There's no way for us at the moment with our current understanding and knowledge to see what dark matter or dark energy is. All right. So just by saying, "Oh, you've just made up as a placement," no, we haven't. It's something that's happening. There's observations there, and we are trying to figure it out. And
percentage wise, how much of your universe is made up of those two things?
A lot. And we can see
the percentage. I asked
but again, I don't know the exact percentage, right? But I know it's a lot. But the fact is that we can see the effects of these things, right?
Yeah, I would make a point. I would make a point that the existence of dark matter is a hypothesis.
Yeah.
There are other explanations for the things that we observed. And
it doesn't change anything.
I beg your pardon?
I said it doesn't change anything. We're just trying to figure out what's going on at how it is.
Exactly.
And even if we knew exactly what dark matter and dark energy were, there would still be elements of science that we don't understand. And then the flat earther argument would be, well, you don't understand these things over here, therefore it's possible that the earth is flat. No. That's not how science works. It's not how syllogisms work. It's not how anything works. If I have a DNA test tomorrow and I discover that the person who raised me as a child is not actually my father, that does not permit the interpretation that I am a chipmunk.
So, Tony, earlier you said something that's unfalsifiable is not scientific. So could you give me a way to falsify dark matter and dark energy?
We don't know.
Well, yes. There are multiple ways to falsify dark energy. One would be...
That's literally what they're trying to do right now.
Yes. That is exactly what the process of science is trying to do. We don't know which of these techniques will prove correct. So this is the difference. This is the distinction between something that is a hypothesis, something that is consistent with the observations but unverified, and something that is consistent and has been tested. So, for instance, with relativity, Einstein was able to explain the precession of Mercury's orbit, and then he made a bunch of other predictions. He predicted gravitational time dilation, which we've now observed on Earth's surface. He predicted that the curvature of light would be different under his model than under Newton's model. That was found to be correct. So there were a bunch of predictions that he made that were subsequently observationally verified. That's the point. We're still at the point of trying to come up with these observations to verify our various hypotheses. As yet, we haven't found a hypothesis that our experiments verify.
No, we simply don't have a way to do it right now. We might, in the future, come up with technology that allows us to, make a prediction and an experiment from one of these hypotheses, be it for dark energy, for dark matter, or for one of the other hypotheses around the observations that we're making about the universe, because we don't know everything that's going on. And the wonderful thing for me about science is that we don't know everything, and we never claim to know everything, because then it would be kind of boring, right? Science never claims that we have the answer for everything. Science is just about investigating the natural world around us in any way that we can. And we see right now, we see some stuff happening in the universe that can't be explained with the conventional theories that we've got. So we have come up with several other hypotheses that we are in the process of working a way to possibly test them. There is some, they have come up with certain ways that they think might be able to test dark energy. But I don't know the ins and outs of it or exactly how it's working. But they are they are making progress in certain parts of the hypothesis. But science is a process, and with this particular thing, we're practically at the start of it.
Yeah, it seems like they're saying they're 5 Sigma confident that they have, discovered there is no dark matter.
Well, we don't know yet. There's lots of hypotheses that we're working on.
5 Sigma confidence, dude. 5 Sigma.
We don't know yet. We simply don't know.
That's like the most confident you could be in science.
Right. Who says that we're 5 Sigma confident there is no such thing as dark matter?
I think Tora, you may be. Okay, Tora, could you cite the publication, because I think what you've read is that there's a particular form of dark matter that we are 5 Sigma certain does not exist.
That's correct. So it's cold dark matter. Yeah, you're correct. Okay. Cold dark matter, which is the whole entire Big Bang universe premise is off of that.
No, that doesn't follow. There are other forms of dark matter. Again, you need to cite the study that you're saying, so that we can all have a look at it.
You don't abide by the cold dark matter model.
Well, there are to me there are a number of. I'm actually kind of partial to superfluid gravitation, gravitation that exhibits different properties in different densities of matter. But I'm this is well beyond my field of expertise. So I can tell you the theory that I'm most fond of. It isn't dark matter per se. Because if it is actually a material effect, I'm very dubious that we're going to be able to find it. Or we've looked for it and we're still looking for it, and we just never seem to be able to find it. I guess someday we might, but to me, I'm thinking that it's more plausible that there's some refinement of gravitation.
Very cool. Thank you so much. I'll withdraw.
Nice. Cool. So, Hammer, are you definitely positive that was the evidence you wanted to supply that would take my channel down, or did you at the last minute have a panic and not want to do it, and you're hiding the real evidence?
No, I mean, this is kind of like one of those. I don't know if you saw like one of them karate moves where like I just hit you and you don't even know yet. You know what I mean?
Can I raise a question to Hammer real quick?
Yeah, sure.
That pipeline that was brought up earlier was actually a good point of how we do things the easiest way to possibly do them. We figure out the easiest way to do it, and that's how we do it. And what Hammer is implying, what we do in surveying, is taking all these unneeded extra steps and doing all this extra math and all this stuff to make it work on a globe model, when in reality, if what he believed, all of that is completely unnecessary. And we just
show where they actually account for curvature when they're doing something to build something.
If it was flat, we would do things completely differently.
Right, just like I said earlier, like you can get spherical excess on a small scale.
Yeah.
The more points of spherical excess you get, the more the closer and closer you could get to getting the Earth's radius. So it's obviously going to be an approximation because like Tony says, the Earth isn't a perfect sphere. But
yeah. So, Hammer, you do believe that we're doing all of that extra unnecessary stuff just to hold up the lie? Is that what it is?
No, I would love to see I think that there are fields that deal with it and do all that stuff, but they don't actually do anything in reality as far as like when we're building and constructing and stuff. Nobody ever takes into account curvature when
Okay,
they're
so
building.
it's
Ever.
fundamentally not true.
Also, what was the name?
wait,
Real
hold
quick,
on,
what
hold
was
on
the
one
name of
sec,
that
Hammer.
bridge you cited in New York?
The
real quick?
Veracenter Narrows Bridge, but
Can you spell it?
No.
Verrazano Narrows.
But the
I'll
best
see if I can
evidence
find it.
for
I got it.
Engineering projects taking into account the curvature of the Earth is any of the LIGO installations around the world, or any of the other gravity wave detection facilities throughout Europe or everywhere.
A 2-mile long facility.
Yeah, they have to take into account the curvature of the Earth because the lasers inside it have to fire completely and 100% straight.
Craig,
So
come on.
Also the
what do you mean,
You know
Craig?
that's
Come on,
silly,
this
right?
is some. What do you mean? What you're doing right now is just going. I don't believe it. That is literally a personal
No,
fragility.
no, I'm just trying to give you an
have to take it into
opportunity,
account.
you know what I mean?
It has to be taken into account.
I'm just trying to give you
make
the
these
opportunity.
things
Also,
work
I just
properly.
wanted to verify that Verrazano Narrows Bridge is indeed a suspension bridge, right? It's fun. It's also silly that you guys,
Yeah, it
use
is.
So what does it say in the article though about the curvature of the Earth? Are they
In
lying
which
about
article? In which article?
that? Where the article about the Verrazano Bridge, where it literally states that they took the curvature of the Earth into account.
Show me that.
Is that a
Where's
lie?
that at? Where is that at?
Oh, as soon as I'm stopped, I'll show you that. As soon as I get a chance.
I mean, is that the best you got? You got to pull over and get your Sonics slushy and hamburger, so you can give us some glow proof.
Hammerburger.
You got?
Guess what, homies?
What's up?
We don't believe that the Earth is a sphere because of the way they build bridges.
Well, I mean, whatever Nathan Oakley says doesn't really matter because he's not real flat earther. So
You think that's Nathan Oakley?
I don't know.
Yeah, I thought that was
No, that was Jim.
I am Nathan Oakley. Yes.
I was gonna say, was that a soundboard or was that somebody?
Here's one more.
Nah,
Here's
that
one
was-
more.
That was Jim Panda.
And we
So-
accept the fact that you know that we're not building on a comet. Okay?
Yeah, that's Jim. Yeah, that's Jim Panda. So when I
That was
bring
when my
up
boy
this,
Apocryphon was taking on the whole chat and Jim.
hey, real
Panda.
quick. So when I find this article stating that the Verrazano Bridge was built with the curvature of the Earth and taken into account,
Hey,
what are you going to say?
are we going to be able to
Are you
measure
gonna-
it
hold
level?
on,
Are we
wait,
going to measure it
are you gonna?
level the
Can
whole
I
time?
finish what I'm saying?
Hold on. Let
Can I
him
finish what I'm saying?
finish his
Is it
point.
gonna
I
be
wasn't finished
level?
what I'm
Into
saying.
the
Is
break.
it
Let
gonna
him
be
finish his
level?
point. Into the break. Let him finish his point before you interrupt. Come on.
So when I bring up that article about the Verrazano Bridge taking the curvature of the Earth into account, what are you going to say then? Are you going to say that it's a lie?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
No, I'm going.
Are
to
you
the
like
level.
TMZ?
Is it level?
Do you like speculating on what people are going to do, or would you rather
I'm
just
going to
provide
ask
the
you,
evidence?
is it
and then
level?
We'll
I
just
literally
deal with
tried
it
to
then.
do
You know what I mean?
that.
We'll cross that bridge
Yeah,
when
Hammer.
we get to it.
He thinks he has a got you for
Nobody
you.
had me on the
No.
soundboard, bro.
Is it
So
going to
what was-
be up high?
So is it gonna be a
gonna
lie?
Be
Is
a
it-
hump? Is it going to be a hump
So
that
you're-
you're measuring?
I have no idea what's going on
Guys,
right now.
guys,
It's very easy.
one at a
Let me say
time.
this.
No,
I think it's very important to remember that Hammer doesn't.
It'd be
Okay.
really
Okay, guys.
useful if you didn't all talk at the same time. Seriously, nobody
Yes.
can hear anything.
I've started muting people. You can't talk all at once, right? You've got to give one another a chance to go. And Hammer is being bulldogged here. He's just being dogpiled.
Well,
Let's
I did
be
have
polite,
one.
Let's be
Oh, sorry.
considerate.
I did have one gentleman that's trying to speak up, trying to join my team at least, and I'd like to hear what he has to say, of course. But of course, anybody else
Was that
can
into
jump
the break?
in
Yeah,
at
into the
one
break,
at
I
a
was trying to
time.
say something, so
for
should we
sure.
give him a chance?
Yes, into
I was
the break.
Yes, sir. Level. So the bridge will be measured. Whatever arc that it's put at, we're going to be measuring
What
that
about
from
the arc
level.
of the bridge? It's
So
about-
is claim that there's a measurable hump
No.
in between bridge.
No.
And can I go measure that? Can I go stand there and measure level not being level? Is that your claim that level is
Well, what do
not
you think level is?
somewhere?
Well,
Is that
it will
your
be
claim?
level.
What do you think level is?
Well, level is as
What do you think level
it's
is?
defined and is
Do you
utilized
think
in
level? Do you
practice.
think level means?
It's a horizontal condition.
Does level mean flat?
Level is a horizontal condition synonymous with flat. Yes, yes, very
let
much
me respond to
indeed.
this if I could.
Synonymous.
Into the
with
break,
flat,
when
indeed.
we're talking about the Earth.
Synonymous with flat, yes.
Into the break, let me respond,
synonymous with flat.
So if I could respond without people interrupting, please, thank you. So into the break. No, when we're talking about the Earth,
Let 'em
level
talk.
literally. Right, please, if I could talk without being interrupted, thank you. Right, when we're
Let
talking.
him talk. Let him talk. Who's
Why am I
interrupting
being
him?
interrupted? I'm trying to talk. Why are people interrupting me? Right.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead. I don't know. Somebody was interrupting you. Good point.
Okay,
Good point.
into the break. When we're talking about the Earth, level means conforming to the curvature of the liquid parts of Earth's surface. That is what level means in surveying. Surveyors use the term true level as the curve of the Earth. So when you say, is it going to be level? The answer is yes. It's going to be level to the curve of the Earth.
So level is a curve. When does level stop being a horizontal?
Level
condition?
is whatever it's referenced to.
Yeah, level
When does level stop being a horizontal condition?
Depending
when it's over a curve. When it's over a curve.
When does level stop being a horizontal condition?
When it's over a curve.
Into the break, could you when over
It follows the curve.
Like
I don't understand how you can't understand that. It follows the curve.
No, when does level end? And when does
you're just lost on this topic.
Right, hold on, guys. Everyone's talking at once. Everyone stop. Everyone stop, please. Everybody stop, please.
And the Earth.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hold on. Into the break, please. Wait 1 moment. Hold on. Into the break. I don't want to mute you, but I will. Okay. You will be quiet for a moment. Into the break is a Poe, guys. You can deal with him how you'd like, but he's going to be Poe and ask Poe questions. Here we go. I'll unmute him now.
Oh, right. Are you? Is that? I didn't realize that was the case. I just thought he was being very silly, not understanding what the word level meant.
Yeah. Oh, I am the winner. You are the loser. Call me whatever you like. Maybe you should go touch grass. Maybe take a deep breath.
Yeah. Okay. So if he's a Poe, I've just served muted him because there's no point interacting. With a Poe.
Let's not do that, please. Please unmute him, please. Thank you.
No, not if he's just going to be a Poe and interrupt us for no reason.
You guys just labeled him a Poe. You're not allowing him to speak. Come on, let him speak, bro.
I mean, he's just saying the same thing over and over about
Yeah, the
level
problem
and
is
not listening to us.
Yeah, I didn't just label him a Poe. I clarified that he's a Poe. Why don't you ask him some actual flat Earth evidences, like how do sunsets work on a flat Earth, and just simple shit that most of the flat Earthers understand and know answers to. He doesn't have answers or understand, the arguments. Typical Poe shit. Maybe he learned a little in the last couple of weeks, but comes around every time there's a FTFE stream or an MC Tune stream. He pulls around and
he's been around a little bit. I've heard him speaking.
Yeah, but he's very Poe. But yeah, have fun. Have at it.
Well, I'd rather go with. It was Hammer we were talking to. That was actually.
Yeah, but you said you don't like. I mean, everybody's welcome to join. You don't like having the more the merrier.
I mean, I'll let him in, but I mean, if he just keeps asking the same thing about level without understanding what it means, then.
Well, okay. Well, let me address that a little bit. Don't you think it's a little strange that you guys have to create your? Because you said when we're talking about the Earth, but I mean, you're talking about when conforming to the liquid parts of the Earth.
Conforming to the curvature of the liquid parts of Earth's surface. Yeah, that is literally the
curvature.
Yeah, and that's not just me making that. That comes from the Merriam-Webster dictionary. The first usage of the adjective of the word level. The thing is about words and language in general is that it's very fluid and can be used in several different ways. And we have to make sure we're applying it to the correct context. And when we are talking about the Earth, level means conforming to the curvature of the liquid parts of Earth's surface. That's just how it is.
So to like you said, in the interest of being clarifyingly concise here, whatever you just said, with the definitions of words, right? That's technically what you guys say, right? Because if you look at the adverb definition, Right. What's the adverb definition of level? Is it? Or maybe
it's not an adverb. In this circumstance, it's an adjective. It's a describing word.
But also, I mean, you're talking about the liquid part. It's just,
With the
you guys
liquid
are
parts
saying
of Earth,
water
the
curves,
curvature of the liquid parts of Earth. Water always curves.
Parts.
Yeah.
Never built.
You're gonna have to show me that. You guys have measurements for that.
Never built anything, guys. He doesn't do anything in application. It's all hypothetical.
There's a lot of people talking
you guys
a
have
lot.
been,
Yeah, guys,
you guys have been
please
showed it many times over 0.48 miles.
Can we
and it's
please
always
get hello, guys? Right.
We got
Can we
Poe
please
FTFE in here. Poe FTFE never leveled a shelf in his life. Never played.
Right. Obviously, Into the Break is just a Poe. He's just calling me a Poe, so I have sort of muted him. Guys, can we please just try and keep it to one person at a time?
That's like eye for an eye stuff.
All right. So just one person at a time, because Hammer was saying something, and then I tried to respond, and a million people started talking. So sorry, Hammer. What did you say then at the end?
Said, yeah, we need some measurements of curved water. I think.
Yeah, so that's very simple. You can look at facilities called tow tank facilities, where they're hydrodynamic testing facilities for ships that are due to go to sea. And they are massive tanks of water that you have the boats in, and you create waves and stuff to see how the vessels react to these certain forces. These tow tanks have a rail that they bring the ships in on, right? And these rails have to be a particular distance above the surface of the water. And for every point along this rail, it is the same distance above the water. Let's say 2 centimeters. So at 1 meter, it's 2 centimeters. At 5 meters, it's 2 centimeters above the water. At 10 meters, it's still 2 centimeters above the water. A kilometer, however the biggest testing facility there is, it's still just 2 centimeters above the water, right? So the rail is level to the water. However, those rails, and it's measured, especially the facility in Nottingham that specifically has a paper about this, those rails are curved. They are built curved to match the arc of the curve of the Earth, so that they stay level above the water the same way across the whole length. Therefore, we have measurements that water curves.
Are these big tanks that these water is sitting in?
Yeah, like the biggest facility that I'm aware of is just under a kilometer.
So I mean, I'm trying to envision like what if I walk into one of these facilities, what am I going to see?
You're going to see a massive tank of water with rails above the water that bring vessels into those tanks to test their ability to deal with different hydrodynamic circumstances.
Is the tank resting on the floor? Or is it elevated above the floor?
Well, it's probably built into the facility, but it's a big tank of water where the surface is level.
It's a giant fucking swimming pool.
What's
Sorry,
that?
what was that?
It's a giant swimming pool.
Yeah.
Yeah. A long pool.
Above ground or below ground?
None of these questions actually matter.
Yeah. The fact is, it's a
Why not?
big pool of water where the water
You
is
mean? Why
level,
not?
and the tank, the rail above the water is level to that water, and that rail is curved.
Not everybody. Who here works at one of these facilities? Let me get a raise of hands. Or an eye. I guess say eye.
Every single Glober here works at one of those facilities. Isn't that right, guys?
Yep. That's right.
Every single one of us.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
PhD
You
Tony
all
works
work
at
where we
7
live?
of them.
No kidding. Wow. Well, I don't work at one. I'll admit that. So I don't really know what they look like. I've never been in one before. So I mean, it would help, to just describe what's going on.
Well, there we go. Watchmaker has just put some images up of some
Understand.
tow tank facilities.
Oh, convenient. Let's see here.
And you see those rails?
I actually watched a video.
So if you look at
I watched a video on them recently because I was curious.
You look at the one on the right hand side, you can see the rail all along the length of the water, and that rail has to be a certain distance above the water. And it is for the whole distance, yet that rail is curved. Therefore, the water underneath it is curved. Therefore, that water is conforming to the curvature of Earth.
Oh, man. Those rails on the left there you're talking about?
Yeah, if you look where the water is, there's black lines running along the water.
Both sides.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So here's one of the things that flat
That's
earthers
the
get
rails
wrong
are
is that they always say, "Oh, water doesn't curve," but the thing is, water always curves. Water's literally never flat, like ever. I don't know why flat earthers say this. It's like
it doesn't
water
make any
is
sense.
never flat.
When I look at it, it's definitely flat.
When you look at what specifically?
Definitely flat. I know you guys have a different definition for it.
Well, what? Yeah, when you say you look at water and it's flat, what water are you looking at?
And you guys have a different definition of level. That's what makes this so difficult.
Well, no, we don't have a different definition of level. We have the definition of level in the correct context.
You see how you say that? In the correct context.
Yes. Yeah,
have you ever poured...
The correct context is important.
Yeah. Have you ever poured a little bit of water, like on a table? And you look at all the edges of the water, it's always water. It's water is convex. It has to be all.
What's causing that effect? What's causing that effect? Static electricity?
No, surface tension of the water.
Okay, yeah. Surface tension. What causes surface tension?
Interactions between
Is it
molecules.
the molecular bonds?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so
not trying to say gravity there.
So what you're saying is water isn't flat, and we agree with you. Water is never flat.
No, if you go ahead and add enough water to that, you both know what's going to happen. So don't try to change the physics
it will
of
follow
water.
the curvature of the Earth. Water doesn't have its own
spot. Water finds the lowest spot. That's
with
how.
All due respect, Hammer, with all due respect, water doesn't do anything. Water doesn't have its own physics. Water doesn't find its own level. Water.
You're talking to
hold
Torah.
on, Hammer. Water, like
You're
all matter.
Torah.
Water, like all matter, reacts to forces acting on it, and that is it. You can make water a sphere with sound.
I am Torah, and water goes to the lowest spot. That's a fact. That's a fact.
No,
I'm
it's
sorry.
not. Water doesn't always go to the lowest
water
spot. The point. Water doesn't
okay.
always go to the lowest point. Have you heard of clouds?
Dude, what are you talking about right now? I'm talking about when you put water on the surface of a table, which you were talking about, that water will go and find the lowest spot. You just have to add
the water
enough.
won't go and
you
find
say
anything.
The ocean is one little drop of water.
Tora, hold on. Right, the water won't go and find anything because water.
Have you heard of rain?
Water doesn't do anything. Water reacts to forces acting upon it. That is it. The reason why the water was spread out on the table is because the prevailing force created by gravity acting upon it.
Hey, what shape are the roads over by you?
I'm in Scotland, so mostly potholes.
Yeah, so the roads, right, they're a little higher in the middle than they are on the sides. You know what that is?
No, the roads in Scotland are just like massive potholes. There isn't actual roads. There's just conglomerations of several potholes that you drive around.
All right.
And
yeah, you want to obfuscate off the actual point that water goes to the lowest spot, and that's a fact of life. And you want to try to change.
For instance, like Sig has just posted a picture of water not going to the lowest spot, thanks to forces acting upon it.
Imagine that.
Go ahead and drill a hole in the bottom of that thing. What happens?
You're changing the forces acting upon it.
Yeah. The forces are going to make that water go down to the lowest spot.
Yeah, the forces are going to make the water do something. The water doesn't do anything on its own.
Water continually flows to the lowest spot. You ask any roofer.
I mean, it's literally not doing that in this picture.
Drains. What?
It's literally not doing that in the picture that Sig posted.
Okay, what's
you have to
causing that?
do
What's
something to
causing
it
that
to make
effect?
it. Other
What's it
forces,
causing that effect? Yeah,
particularly
what
the
are those
capillary,
forces?
the capillary effect, the forces created by that. Because water,
Yes. Okay.
like all other matter,
What causes
just
the-
reacts to forces. That is it.
What causes the capillary effect?
Surface tension mainly.
Surface tension. What causes surface tension?
It doesn't matter. It's a force that's acting on it. That is the
Okay.
point here.
You don't want to
Water,
answer
like
the real
all
question.
matter, reacts to forces. It doesn't do anything on its own.
Right. Water forms spheres when there's no forces applied to it.
Absolutely.
So keeping it together is that surface tension.
Demonstrate that.
It's been demonstrated.
Yeah, I can show you a
times.
picture from NASA, but you'll claim it's fake.
Where are we posting things at?
Right, it's called hydrodynamic equilibrium. Water will form a sphere with no other forces acting on it, because that is the lowest energy shape it could take.
He asked us to demonstrate that. Where are we posting things so I can show him that water forms a sphere?
Just in the main text chat.
Okay.
Excuse me. Yeah, so, I mean, you're just wrong about that assumption about water. Really?
That's funny how you could just blatantly say something like that. You're just wrong. That you're telling me water doesn't flow to the lowest point. Is that what you're getting at? And you're saying I'm wrong?
No,
You're
it
just saying
doesn't.
that?
And
Come
unless
on,
there
dude.
is a
Put
force acting on
practical
it, no, it
application.
won't.
Use practicality in your thinking here. Practical
Gravity.
applications. You don't need to use
Gravity
your
pulls it to the
imagination.
lowest point.
Yeah.
Gravity
When-
pulls it to the lowest point.
Right, Hammer.
Yeah,
when
okay.
there is
So
a
then
force...
what forms water into that ball, huh? What is it?
Hydrodynamic equilibrium,
What
I said
does
that.
What is it?
Hydrodynamic
Surface tension. And what is surface tension? What gravity has the effect on surface tension?
Well,
It's the
Gravity's
chemical
nothing to do with surface tension.
Oh,
really
okay,
nothing-
so it's a molecular bond of some sort. So what holds this molecular bond together?
Oh,
water
here we go.
does form a
Jeez,
curve. Wow. The water does curve. Look at that.
Yeah. Right. The fact is, Hammer, the water
This is
doesn't
Torah,
flow to... Sorry, Torah. The fact is, water doesn't flow to its lowest point unless there
The
is a
fact
force
is-
acting on it telling it to do that. Simple as that.
Mhm.
If there's no force,
Yep.
it will be a sphere.
If you could find a place on Earth that there's no forces acting on water, I'd be interested in
No,
that.
we can't find a place on Earth. Luckily, we've got the ISS that isn't on Earth.
Yep.
Dude, this guy just goes, this is water upside down, and he shows condensation inside the watch. Hey, you want to explain what force causes condensation, brother?
You want to explain why the water's on the top of the watch?
Yeah. You missed the point. Water is not flowing to its lowest point. You are factually wrong.
Oh, you're saying if all those clumps of water gathered together, they wouldn't fall back down? What is holding those clumps of water
So what you're
separate
saying,
from
there
each
has to be
other in the first
specific
place?
circumstances for your
Well-
thing to be true. Is that right?
What is holding those drops of water
How come-
separate from each other in the first place?
Nothing's holding them separate from each other. They can combine and make bigger droplets.
And then when they make those bigger droplets, what's going to happen?
Gravity will affect it.
Yeah, the gravity will then become the prevailing force because the mass will be
Oh,
big
so
enough.
so then what was the force that caused them to become on the top of the...
Surface tension, the force is created by that.
Oh, it's not evaporation first and then condensation?
Well, yeah, that's what happened
is
to
a red
make
herring
that,
trail.
but you're talking about what is the
Yeah.
forces that is holding it there. But
Yeah,
the
so
point
what is this guy
uh,
even talking about? Obviously,
well,
if
it's
those
an
water
example
drops
of
go
the point that
together-
we are making.
Yeah, but
that
you understand,
water
if all
doesn't
of
do
that
any...
water
Right,
goes
Tor,
together,
hold
it's
on.
going to go to the lowest point, right?
No, not unless there's a force acting on it, no.
But if all, yeah, exactly. We don't have an experiment where we can't eliminate the force of gravity here on
yeah,
Earth.
we
Let's
can.
get
We did it
real.
on the
Let's get
ISS.
down on Earth.
We did it on the
They
ISS.
That's the ISS is on Earth. I knew it. You know that's in
No,
a
no,
pool.
no, no.
huh?
We don't do it on Earth because you cannot eliminate the forces of gravity on Earth. Luckily, we have the ISS so that we can do that because it's in free fall.
All right, you heard it. You heard it here first. ISS is on Earth, guys.
No, I never said the ISS is on
They
Earth.
could make a beach ball. They could make a beach ball sized sphere of water in there without any problems. Well, I mean, it would. I mean, obviously.
I mean, if Watchmaker's right. If you want to do it on Earth, technically, you could do it within the force of gravity. You could do it on the Vomit Comet. You go on the Vomit Comet, and whilst that Vomit Comet is going down, and you're in free fall, water will form a sphere. There will be no forces acting on it. The force of gravity is cancelled out. So you, Tora, are factually wrong.
I don't know. I think you cherry-picking.
I wonder if a flat earther could admit
I was
they're
talking
wrong.
about on Earth. I was talking about on Earth because that's where we live, and that's what the whole conversation is about. So when I said that water flows to the lowest point, that's a fact here on Earth.
We
so
do
if
it
you want to
gravity on
retract
No,
your
it is
last
not a fact
statement
here on Earth because it doesn't always do that. Only in specific circumstances does it do that. Because there is forces acting on it. That is it. Your point is irrelevant because the only reason water would ever flow is because forces acting on it. When there are no forces on water, it is a sphere that just floats there. So can you admit that you were wrong? Or is your ego too large?
Bro, I have never seen a sphere of water, water without forces acting on it, because I live on Earth, dude. I don't know where you live, so until you show me that we're not on Earth and we could perform this experiment, I'm not going to take your word for it.
You can get in a plane and do it yourself, so can you admit that you were wrong? Or is
So
your
you're
ego too
saying
large?
I go skydiving and I drop some water out of a water bottle?
Can you admit that you're wrong, or is your ego too large? Which one?
I have a question now.
Well, hold on. Before any more questions, I would like him to get past this. Can you admit that you were wrong, or is your ego too large? Which one of those is it?
Sir, water flows to its lowest
No, it
point
doesn't. That's
everywhere
factually
here
wrong.
on-
Can you admit
No,
you are
it's not.
wrong, or is your ego too large? Which one is it?
Are you talking in like a gravity anomaly area? Like where? Where does it not do that?
In the Vomit Comet on the ISS.
The watch face.
I said on
the
Earth,
watch face.
bro.
Vomit Comet is on Earth.
When in a
on
pump
Earth.
system, in an air cooling system, in the air cooling system, see that right there? That is an Xbox Series S. That has water in it that does not flow to the lowest point. So
Is
you are
that on the
factually wrong.
surface of Earth? Are we talking about the
Yeah,
surface
that
of
Xbox
Earth
Series
here?
X is
The
most
flat
definitely
Earth
on
debate?
Earth. Do you see that?
Why are you
that
guys
right there?
trying to
Do you see
divert
that
away
Xbox
from
Series
Earth?
X? Right, I am pointing
Yo,
to an
you
Xbox
guys
Series
don't
X.
want to talk about
Tora,
flat
I'm
Earth
talking.
now? You want to
Hold
talk
on,
about
Tora.
Xbox?
Is the
You wanna
Xbox
talk
on Earth?
about
Yes or no?
Xbox? You don't want to talk
Tora,
about flat Earth? Dude,
Tora,
I'm
is
talking
the
about
Xbox
on
on
the I'm
Earth?
talking
Yes or
about
no?
flat Earth. You
Tora,
guys
is
always
the-
say we obfuscate off of flat Earth.
Tora,
I'm
trying to talk. Will you
You're
stop?
talking about the ISS.
Tora, is the Xbox on Earth? Yes or no?
Inside of an Xbox?
Is the Xbox on Earth? Yes or no?
Oh yeah, Xbox. Sure, that's on Earth.
Well, therefore, the water in that Xbox is not flowing to the lowest point. Therefore, you are factually wrong.
Oh, because of condensation, because of steam. Why is it flowing up?
Because different forces
Okay,
are acting on it.
we're
So
talking
it doesn't
about
do it.
water
You are wrong.
at
Only
rest.
in
Water-
specific circumstances does
Oh
it
my
do what you
God.
say.
Dude, water finds its lowest.
Water doesn't
point,
do anything.
period,
Stop
on the
lying.
Earth. That's what it does. Everywhere you go, this is how drains are designed. This is how
What is
all
the
of your
IQ of
toilets in your house are designed. This is just the way that the world works. If you want to deny that and tell
Toilets
me
are actually,
we have
you
places
know,
of
toilets
no
have water that
force
goes
acting
up.
upon
Did you know
water,
that
then you're
toilet
just
plumbing has
making-
water that goes upwards? Did you know that?
Toilet plumbing has water that goes upwards. Yes.
Yeah,
with
have you never
what?
seen the
With
U-bend in
force.
a toilet?
Is it a, we're gonna remove all forces except gravity from water. What is it gonna do?
So we're allowed. So if there's a
So now you're
force,
changing the conditions.
why are we keeping a force? If we're going to remove forces, let's remove all
Because
of
we
them. and see
can't
what
eliminate
happens.
it. Can you?
Yeah,
do
we
you
can.
know a way to eliminate gravity?
Yeah, get in the Vomit Comet or go on the ISS.
On Earth, dude. Why are you taking it there?
Vomit Comet, free fall.
on Earth.
On Earth.
Because the focus is on
Define
Earth,
on
because
Earth.
This is a flat Earth debate, dude. We're
Define
talking about the
on
ground
Earth.
of Earth.
Define on Earth.
The ground, standing on the ground of Earth. Earth is the land that sticks out of the water of Earth.
Right,
Oh, when I
simple.
jump
Okay,
underneath
I
her.
get a bottle, right, and the bubbles in it show that, you know, as they go to the top, right? But I drop that bottle, and the bubbles are spheres that float in the bottle, don't go up or down in the bottle as that bottle moves towards the ground. So
Okay,
there's
so
spheres
gas
of water
particles are
in.
spherical.
Yeah.
Gas is spherical. I'll agree with you. That's cool. I'm fine with gas being spherical. But that's not the water.
What you would find is if you drop that
Gas
bottle,
being spherical. What?
maybe if you let me finish talking, right?
don't know
What you
anything.
would find is if you drop that bottle with just a little bit of water in it, the water in that bottle would be spherical until the bottle then hit the floor again. So you can do it on Earth. You
water
can
in
show
the
when
bottle
you
will
cancel
take the
out.
form
Let me
of
finish
the
talking.
bottle.
Don't interrupt. Maybe you'll learn. Right? If you cancel out the forces of gravity by dropping a bottle and it free falls at the acceleration of gravity, therefore cancelling out the forces of gravity, the water inside that bottle will no longer have forces on it and will not flow towards the lowest point. Therefore, you are wrong. Admit you are wrong, or admit that your ego is too large to admit you are wrong.
So you're saying if I drop a bottle of water, the water doesn't go to the lowest point of that bottle, it goes to the top. But does it form a sphere or does it form to the shape of its container?
It would form a sphere if there was enough space in it. But if the bottle is full, then it's going to be different. But if there's just a little bit of water in there, it will, as it's falling, form a spherical shape. Because when you take away the forces,
so you're saying water
Tora,
drops
this
are
is let me finish. Right,
and that
this is
means
very
the
important.
ocean can be spherical,
This is very
right?
important, right? When there are no forces acting on water, it does not flow to its lowest point. Water does not do anything unless there is a force acting on it. On Earth, there is the force created by gravity. Therefore, water doesn't flow to its lowest point. Gravity makes water flow to its lowest point. Okay?
Yep.
Simple.
He is describing the effect and just ignoring the cause completely.
No, I totally. That's what we now agree. On Earth, water flows to the lowest point because there's a downward bias that we notice.
Because there is a force acting on it.
Okay, I'll agree to that because there is a force acting on it.
Yeah,
I don't feel the force.
So
We don't know
water
where the
doesn't
force
do
comes
anything,
from,
right?
but
Do
for
you
some
agree?
reason there
Do
is a
you
force.
agree? Do you agree that water doesn't do anything unless there is a force acting on it?
I couldn't verify that.
And you do feel the force of gravity.
You sound like a victim.
That wasn't very
Well,
nice.
Walk around on some broken glass and bare feet.
Yeah.
And tell me you don't feel it.
Yep.
Do some
Feel the
squats.
force of gravity every day.
So you're gonna say that your stupidity for walking around on broken glass is because of gravity. That's why you got hurt, and it's not because you're a
Don't walk on
retard.
broken
that
glass.
got on
Just
you.
walk around in bare feet all day and your
Walk on
feet will
glass.
hurt. That's come on now.
I do some squats, Tor.
Hey, which
Yeah.
which one hurts more at the end of the day, your head or your feet?
Your feet.
Which one feels heavier to you at the end of the day?
My balls.
They have a cream for that now, Ted.
Yeah,
Well,
big dude.
They do. They got some medicine for that out there.
No, but I mean, your legs have muscles for a reason to keep you standing up. Like if your legs give out, what's going to happen?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's because of
You're
gravity.
constantly accelerating downwards.
Are you sure
Or
that
if you
ground
want to
isn't
do the flatter
accelerating
thing, the
up?
Earth is constantly accelerating upwards.
Yeah.
If you want to do be a flat Earth way.
So the ground is accelerating up at you?
There's a flat Earth camp that does believe that.
No, what about on the globe? We could say technically that the ground's accelerating up to us, right? On the globe, the math would
If
still
you
work.
want to talk about relativity, then you can think of it that way because it's exactly the same as the view accelerating towards the ground. They're the same thing.
What if we put two people antipodal to each other and then they both drop something? Is the Earth growing?
No.
Is
Why
it
would the Earth be
breathing
growing?
in, breathing out?
Why would the Earth be growing or breathing out?
Because the ground is accelerating to that object for both of them, and they're in two poles.
From the point of view of the object, not from a third observer looking at the Earth with both these things happening at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Right, so anyway, this has been going on for about nearly 2 hours. I'm thoroughly disappointed that I didn't get evidence that was going to shut down my channel. I was looking forward to a little break. Hammer, I'm thoroughly disappointed. I'm very sad.
Apologies, buddy. Apologies. Like I said, I think you'll feel it. I think you'll feel this thing later, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure the surveyors that have been doing this for centuries, missed all these things that you're talking about for some reason.
I mean, I find it interesting because I was even trying to look whenever. Hold on, I'm trying to get on my computer, my better mic. But trying to look up spherical excess while you were chatting somewhat. I still didn't find.
Still didn't find any like actual method on how they did it, right? Other than
I'll tell you what. If you go to
there's a lot of mathematical calculations there, so that's something I think we really brushed over. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If you want to find out, if you go to MC-Tune. Yeah, you go to mctune.net/r.
No.
Hammer, hold on. Let me finish.
We need to go to somewhere like reliable, a non-biased.
Hammer, hold on. This is just a place that contains the links, right? Go to mctune.net/r. And it will show you lots of links to surveying, things that have been done.
I mean, why
including
can't I just type it into Google,
transcontinental triangulation of the American arc of the parallel, including the measurements across India, including the measurements across Great Britain, including measurements across Russia and Europe. So that's just a place you can go to find the links. Don't be afraid because it says MC-Tune.
Well, actually, I mean, like I said, we should be able to just Google this stuff. I shouldn't have to go to his website.
You can Google it if you want. Tune did that for you already and put it somewhere handy to find.
He's literally telling you where to find the information.
Yeah, if you want to go and find it again somewhere else, that's up to you. But the information has already been found
out there,
and put. It is just out there. That's how Tune found it and put it on his website.
You know what I mean?
Well, apparently not.
I already found and downloaded. If this thing will ever.
So what happens when you find it though? Like then what? Like you actually find these measurements. Then what? What are you gonna do with the measurements?
You said it's the transcontinental triangulation and the American arc of the parallel. That's what you were saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
See, yeah, I already found that myself. I downloaded that, so I have that to look over. You know.
Brilliant.
Anyone have the field equations from that? That'd be cool.
What would you do with those? If you had them.
Yeah.
Verify their spherical excess without corrections.
How would you verify them?
Anyway,
how about you get me the information and then let me worry about that?
I don't think you do anything. I think you just get it and you wouldn't do anything.
Make sure that you pick a big enough triangle too. Don't pick one of these little tiny triangles. Pick a big enough one that actually had spherical excess in it before they did the correction.
Well, that's the thing. Like, how do you get those measurements in real life at those distances?
So what they did,
mountaintop to mountaintop.
Yeah. All right, guys, can I have 1 sec?
With what?
I'm going to leave now,
exactly?
so I'm going to say thank you to Hammer for.
Oh, you're running away. I get it. All right.
Well,
Till
it's
next
1:45.
time, FTFE.
Yeah, I've got to be up in like 6 hours with my kids, and then I've got gym and stuff, so I do need to sleep at some point.
Thanks for coming by.
Jim for me.
I was just giving you.
Yeah, I'll say hi to Jim for everyone. I see him 6 days a week. Great guy. Thanks for having me on, Hammer, and
I got something for you before. I got something for you before you leave. Hold on.
Yeah, what you got for me?
Here it goes. Ready?
No, here we go.
Oh,
nice.
Thanks for coming by, FTFE. We'll see you next time.
Peace. Wowzers, all the pain in my brain, the pain, ouch, my brain, ouch, pain, ouch. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Evidence that is getting my channel shut down. I'm very disappointed to see that the poll does not have "Shut Up, Craig" at more than 60%. I've got a few super chats to read out, so while I'm reading out the super chats, I expect the poll results to be more than 60% for "Shut Up, Craig." Otherwise, you guys have seriously let me down. Thank you everyone for watching tonight. I should be back tomorrow for another stream over on MMM if someone steps up. And on Thursday, I'm going to be debating, having a discussion with Jeranism, which should be fun. So thank you very much for joining me tonight, and thank you as always for the amazing support. Stringer News 1 for $2 says, is there evidence that Witless has ever done math? Not that I'm aware of. Witsit Gets It says that he is good at maths, but not once have I ever seen him do math. And Wisecoff, I see you here in the chat getting smacked around by PhD Tony. And Wisecoff, maybe you could answer this as you are in love with Witsit. Why has Witsit never done any maths on stream? Ever. Alright? Why is Witsit scared? Because I've challenged him to do a maths test at the same time as me and see who gets the better result. I suggest we find some A-level maths, an A-level maths paper, and him and I have to do the paper and see who gets the better score. Simple. I don't know why he's afraid to do that. Wisecoff, maybe you can find out why Witsit is afraid to do an A-level maths paper against me. It's not like I got an A in my A-level maths or anything. No, not at all. Janos Takos for 1,024 huffs says, I work in computer science where instead of just praying, black goats need to be sacrificed at midnight in a pentagram to make things work. Hail Sagan. Yet that is what you didn't know about IT work. Yeah, Rachie likes the chance to say, shut up, Craig. Oh, Wisecost making excuses for Witsit. He says math is only needed in a theoretical model of the things. We deal with real life evidence and observations, which you need maths to explain, moron. The question was, and I see you avoided it by trying to pretend maths is important. The question was, Wisecoff, if Witless says that he is so good at maths, why will he not do a maths test alongside me to prove how good he is at maths? Why not? Because he's not. Stringer News 1 for $2. What is the most abundant mineral in sink cleaner? I'm not sure. Probably Flerf brains. Stringer News 1 for $2 says potassium. There we go. JPP3030 became a new member. Thank you very much. Welcome to the team of lunatics. I very much appreciate your support. And then we've got Mr. Lonely. He's been a member for 8 months and says he's going to wreck your channel by not understanding a thing. Well done, Flerf. Well done. Guys, it's still only 56%. There's a poll, right? Everybody watching, if you haven't voted in that poll, you need to go and do that. And if it isn't 60% above for Shut Up Craig, I will be upset. Janos Takos for 512 huffs says, show them spherical triangles. Link in Discord DM. No, I don't want to blow their tiny fucking brains. Twitch has been a member for 4 months, says Marvel Comics rule. I mean, they do, but they're just not as good as DC Comics. String News 1 for $2 says the power of nah compels you. It does, you're right. Yeah, Rachel's up for a maths test. Me and Witsit, let's get it done. Turing Test 2 has been a member for 7 months and says the Flerf is jacking off, doesn't have an argument. No, Flerfs don't have arguments. I'm so disappointed. Evidence that get my channel shut down? Nah. Warboss, my favourite Canadian, well, my favourite Canadian orc anyway, says, Zogginell, that is big grot move. What a load of squig dung. I'm going to crump his arse for teasing me. Look, this, wow, I wanted a proper scrap. Yeah, calm down. I know orcs like fighting, but unfortunately there was nothing to fight. Todd Ferguson, the Flerfament supervisor, who's been a member for 4 months, says, I have a dead blow mallet at work that I call the cartoon hammer. It's head and shoulders brighter than this numpty. The grumpy old mechanic for $10. Thank you very much, my friend. Says, I'll pay Hammer $500 to live stream himself reading 20 papers each from the Journal of Astronomy and Astrophysics and the Journal of Geophysics Research. I'll tell you what, just send me that $500 and I'll send it to him, alright? Because he won't do it. Sarah Jones has been a member for 12 months. Sarah, you've been with me for once around the sun. Fucking amazing. Still don't get if my eyes are round, can we see straight lines? Maybe I'm just confused, missing how that works. I'm a dumb globe earther. That's a fucking good point. Wisecoff. If our eyes are round, why can I see straight things? Look at this pen. Why is it straight? LBS for $2 says there's a reason we depict H2O like this. Yeah, water's never flat. Viconut for $2.79 says, why isn't the dome water falling off the edge? Magic, I guess. Slivery for £2 says, I love gravy and I love tea. I mean, I like them both, but they're not very good together. Turing Test 2 gifted 5 memberships. Thank you! Oh my god. You're amazing. If you became a member today and it wasn't because you bought it, then please say thank you to Turing Test 2. Lento Manin for 50 secs. I like all the secs. Says, great work, Craig. Here's some cash for you, man. You can rebuy the brain cells you lost in this debate. Greetings from Sweden. I'm sorry, they're gone. There's no getting them back. Whoop, whoop. Oh no, it's Andy for $2. Oh, where'd it go? For £2 says, glad NASA won't have to shut this clone down again. Clone? I'm not. Why do people keep saying I'm a... Fucking liars. Connell Silver for member for 30 months says, face it, FTFE, as long as stupidity exists, you'll never get a break from this channel, and Flerfs will never cease to be stupid. Ain't that the fucking truth? If I want to fight all stupidity, it's an endless task. MB for £2 says, well, that was the usual 0 flat earth evidence. Turing Test 2 for £20 says, shut up, Craig. Thank you very much, but no. Guys, only 57%. It better get to 60 or I'm going to be upset. Rachbot for $2 Australian says, shut up and take my money. Yes, ma'am. PhD Tony, the only real man in the room, says for $10 Australian, sorry for gate crashing your stream. Wisecoff apparently has a fetish for humiliating himself. Yeah, I thought I'd helped him out of it, but for some reason he fell back into the whole stupid. And then PhD Tony for $5 Australian. Quick chat poll. How many people in the chat think Wisecoff is delusional? 1 for Wisecoff is delusional. 2 for yes, of course he's fucking delusional. Ted LeCoca for $99 says, funny, the Witsit army says math is only for theoretical things, they deal in reality. Then their god Witsit only talks about Einstein is wrong, hence dealing with models that mostly deal in math. It's because Einstein is smart, Witsit is a fucking moron. There you go, there's your poll, PhD Tony. Whoop whoop. Come on, 57 guys, 3% more. Need to say shut up, Craig. Or I'm not going to. Warboss for $5 says, we don't talk about the clones, otherwise we need to crump this one next. Again. What? I'm not clone. MB. MB for £2 says, Wisecoff is delusional. That's why he Flerfs. Yeah, all Flerfs are fucking delusional. Whoop, whoop. Look at all the super chats. And Ted LeCoca for $1.99 says, it's I-O Coca, like Lee from Chrysler. La O Coca. Yeah, Ted, look, here's the thing. I suck at pronouncing names, so you just get called what I call you, because I'm never going to get it right. But thank you very much for the support. I really do appreciate it. Well, I guess we're going to stop it there. 57%, guys. Excuse me. Pardon me, sorry. Oh, that's right, even having a bong. Bloody hell. Roland de Boer says, can I find the level of stupid? No. That level's too high for me to see. Well, guys, what a fun stream. Full of dumb, as always, obviously. Wisecoff, bringing in the extra dumb. Thank you very much, I appreciate that. Wisecoff, go and ask your Lord and Saviour Witsit why he won't do an A-level maths test against me. I just wonder why, you know. And then let him know that I was an artificer in the Navy and to look up what that means. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, Solace says bong water always finds its level. Yeah, I guess. Oh, you know what, guys? The important questions need to be asked these days, and what's a more important question than, you know, just asking something like, can we pretend that airplanes in the night sky are like shooting stars?
Can we pretend that airplanes in the night sky are like shooting stars? Should be wishing for a brain right now, brain right now, brain right now.
Good morning. These words come with a storm warning. Better batten down the hatches, grab some matches and brace yourself for a long day of misery. YouTube has given me the power to reach up into the sky and show you all that we live on a ball. I bring you science that's comprehensible. Your view is indefensible. You're reprehensible. No one's too sensible.
Yes, Gareth, you have to keep watching.
I would be here to see this. A pile of random nonsense dressed up as bullshit. Your ignorance will be the death of us all, like running head first full speed into a wall. You could always read a book, buy a telescope, set it up and take a photo of the moon, or just be a buffoon. I send you in a balloon up to the stratosphere on page 3.
You're a few fries short of a happy meal. You're dumber than a box of hair. The wheel's spinning but the hamster's dead, and you're as smart as bait. You forgot to pay your brain bill. You're missing a few buttons on the remote control. 24 cents short of a quarter. You're surfing in Nebraska. You're as bright as Alaska in December, and you fell out of your family tree. You don't have all the cornflakes in one box. You got an IQ of 2 and it takes 3 to grunt. The elevator doesn't go all the way up, and there's a vacancy on the top floor. Your antenna doesn't pick up all the channels. You're several nuts short of a fruitcake.
You're Mr. Sensible, calm down, don't go too hard. You don't need the hard
I bought the tight shirt and I won your boss.
You're a man of science, poise and grace. Mage 2 did everything to wipe the grins off the face. So Nathan, get away from those kids. The world is not flat and it doesn't have a lid. Recognize the differences between the textbook and the Bible and control yourself. Lay off your slander and your lies. You're a bunch of knobs poisoning the well of the youth, spreading lies that you like to claim as knowledge and truth. Stop spreading fresh bullshit like the butter on your bread. Maybe your musical assault knock some sense into your head. I hope one day you'll hear these lyrics and smile, and you realise you used to be a 40-year-old child. Now it's time to wake up, open your eyes and see, and acknowledge the existence of.
You're a few clowns short of a circus. Your phone is off the hook. Your sewing machine is out of thread. You're all foam and no beer. You don't have all your dogs on one leash. An intellect rivaled only by garden tools. There's no grain in your silo, and your skylight leaks a little. Your belt doesn't go through all the loops. You couldn't pour water out of the boot without instructions on the heel. Your slinky's kinked, and you're proof that evolution can work in reverse. A few feathers short of a whole duck, one fruit loop short of a full bowl.
Airplanes in the night sky are like shooting stars. Should be wishing for a brain right now, brain right now, brain right now. Can we pretend that airplanes in the night sky are like shooting stars? Should be wishing for a brain right now, brain right now, brain right now.
You thought it was over? Well, I'm still standing while you're swinging, flinging feces, talking shit just like the human centipede. You got the mind of a chimp, and I'm here to expedite your shore leave. Cause I'm a seaman, but not the kind I ripped up on your mom's gums. I'm the kind that sailed submarines and fired guns. I could float a boat across the ocean with my eyes closed, circumnavigate the globe with a compass and a bag of sausage rolls. Well, all you can do is nibble on your toes. I'll smack you with the hose that you taught a water level, sit and swivel. You nasal gazing muppet, you can stuff it harder than the wallet stuffed by Warren Buffett. And I don't care about your sauces unless you're serving them. And I don't care about your lines unless you're curving them. Now step away from me, you're sucking up my oxygen with the vacuum where your brain should be, you dumb fuck. Oh yeah, there we go. Wisecough, that song's fucking amazing. You're cringe as fuck. It's, you know, obviously you don't understand humor and, you know, how awesome I am at rapping. Twitch, Twitch is being very strange in Discord DMs, asking why I have Flerfs for moderators, and I don't. The green people are members. That is things that are given to you. someone else gifts a membership or you buy your own membership. I don't give people memberships. That's nothing to do with me. All right, and moderators are blue, and I don't have any flat earthers as moderators. Twitch, I don't understand. No, Twitch, I don't have any control over who stays a member. A member is somebody who has bought a membership to the channel or has been gifted a membership. I don't have any control over that. I can't make someone stay a member that they have to pay to be a channel member. And you either pay or you get it gifted to you. That's not something I control. So please, I'd appreciate you not calling me a communist bitch because you're no longer a member. That's nothing to do with me. Very strange reaction there from you, Twitch. Anyway, I'll be back tomorrow, and then on Thursday with a chat with Jeranism. But in the meantime, I know you guys have been enjoying my weight loss and stuff, and you keep asking. So I thought I'd start an OnlyFans, and I'm just going to post the link to my OnlyFans in the chat there. So yeah, go check out my OnlyFans. I'll post it again. There's the link to my OnlyFans. Definitely my OnlyFans. I'm not lying. And remember, guys, that it's very important. This is one of the most important things that I can say, and I'm only saying this so I can find the thing before I press it. There it is. Remember that stupidity is not a right. Fight the flat earth. Fight the flat. 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 Fight the flat.